In Revit, you might experience a variety of different interoperability issues with CAD formats. In this case, I was working with a customer whereby they were using AutoCAD Plan 3D and Revit MEP to do their building model project. The process piping was done in AutoCAD Plan 3D while the other MEP systems were produced in the Revit MEP model. The architectural model was created in Revit Architecture and provided by the architect. It's linked into the Revit MEP model we see here. The issue we're going to work on here is how the Plan 3D drawing file interacts with certain views in Revit. Now, this is not exclusive to Revit MEP. This would probably occur in Revit Architecture and Revit Structure. So, what I have here on the right side is a partial floor plan or a dependent view of a floor plan, and we can see the AutoCAD Plant 3D drawing file linked in here. So if I just go into the area in question here, I'm going to select the linked drawing file. Because this was a workshare project, it's on a particular work set called H4 Plant 3D Link. So I can turn it on and off in the visibility graphic overrides. It's linked in so I can maintain its design iterations in Plant 3D and refresh them here in Revit. So that's not really the root of the problem here. What's causing the issue with the end user here is the section. Alright, so if I select this section line, it generated the section view you see in the upper left here. What you'll notice is when I pick this section line here, an extents box comes off the section line pointing toward the upper side of the screen. On the left and right side is the width of the section that it generates. The toggles here on the upper side of the dash box, the extents box, is how deep into the model I look. The only thing I don't see in the plan view is the top and bottom extents surfaces. But if I look in the section view, I can actually see the toggles on the top and bottom. So think of the section line as a three-dimensional cubical volume of slicing the model. Now down here, I also have a 3D version of the floor plan on the right. Now a 3D view has a neat little feature called the section box. That's this blue cube that's surrounding the model. This section box is actually cropping the model to the exact shape of my floor plan here on the right side. How I was able to achieve this? It was simple. I right-clicked on the view cube in the 3D view here, and I oriented it to the floor plan that you see on the right, called HVAC Area A here for the fourth floor. And that actually set the section box here to inherit the scope box or the crop region or view range of the plan view you see over here on the right. But what you'll notice here in the section view, if I just enlarge it, the plant drawing file here is not sectioning correctly. So this is one of the problems that the end user was seeing in the section view. For some reason, Revit doesn't understand how to section that 3D model from AutoCAD Plan 3D. So we needed a workaround. And we came back to our buddy, the 3D view here. So I'm going to right-click on the 3D view cube, and orient it to that section, H4, Section 1. You'll see the section box will now inherit the extents box of the section line that generated the 2D section view. And if we zoom in, you'll notice now that Revit is actually sectioning the 3D plant drawing file correctly, whereas in the 2D section view, it's not. So the ultimate goal here is to get it to portray itself correctly on a sheet now. It looks good in 3D, but it doesn't look good in 2D. So we're going to use a technique of compositing viewports on a sheet. But before I do that, I want to dress up my views. So in the section view generated by the section line, I'm going to hide the 3D plant model. So I'll go to Visibility Graphics, go to my work sets here, and I can actually hide the work set. So you'll see that the plant 3D drawing disappears in the section view. Now in 3D view, I want to hide everything pretty much in there as well. So I'm going to go to the visibility graphics of that view, and I'm going to go hide the links. Now all I need to do is change it to hidden line, match the detail level of the section view, and the scale. And as you can see, we're pretty much made it up here. Now comes the easy part, putting it together on the sheet. So I have a sheet view open already, and the first thing I want to do is bring the 2D section view on first. So I'm going to drag the actual section view from the section line onto the sheet. Puts a nice little title mark underneath here because I'm using the viewport type called viewport 1 with title. And now that I have that on there, I'm going to drag on the 3D view second. So there is a drawing order here, let's say, to this method. And you'll notice that when I deselect it, there's the 3D view, but it makes a title mark underneath here. So I just need to switch my viewport here to a type that doesn't show the title. And that's easy to create. Just simply duplicate the one in there and turn off the parameter here, show title. Now that I've squared that away, it's just a matter of dragging it in position. So I'm going to drag the 3D view over top of the 2D view. And what's really interesting is if you work it, you can actually get Revit to show up these alignment edges properly. So I'm looking for this horizontal alignment and vertical alignment, which is indicated by these dashed lines here on the screen. And when I let go, I should get a perfect match. So there you can see I've composited the two views together to make the final product. And this is sometimes the things we have to do to make things look right coming out of Revit. Last but not least, I'll turn off the crop region in each view so I can go into the 2D section. I'll just turn off the display of the crop region. And then in the 3D view, I want to turn off the visibility of the section box. Not turn off the section box itself, but just the visibility. So I'll go into the visibility graphic overrides to do this on the annotation categories tab. Come down to section boxes and turn them off. And what I'm left with is the perfect view for the job.